Hello everyone, we're back in Journal 2 and we'll be under Chapter 13, this will be Part 3 of it. Emmanuel's betrayer, Judah Iharioth. Remember Judah in Judas, this is Judah. My traitor will be Judah Iharioth, the son of the Pharisee, for his mind is interested only in gold, silver, material goods, and shettles. He shall betray me for 30 pieces of silver, for he is misled, for he has been so taught by his father, in avarice and greed. His joy in the piece of silver, however, will be most short-lived, for he is most fickle and unsteady, and will soon be filled with overwhelming remorse for his actions. Now, we're going to go more touchy subject to some, but it's on suicide. That's the title of it, On Suicide. Since Judah is without courage and of a very small faith, he will put a rope around his neck and upon a tree branch, and hang himself to death. Verily, verily, I say to you, even though Judah Iharioth's suicide appears just, he is acting totally without justice. For even though man has free will regarding himself, he does not have the right to decide over his life or his death. You didn't get to choose to come to this earth, and certainly you don't get to choose when you leave it. You can. You have free will to do so. The intent of the laws is such that man lives his life to the end, so that he may perfect his spirit in this manner. If he judges himself through suicide, he deviates from the law and violates the plan of the creation, as well as the laws of creation. Perceive from that man has no right to decide over his life or his death. Even if man has experience for a specific purpose, that he might participate death in intent for another's growth. He should allow the Spirit to take such control and allow the balance of judgment thereof into the hands of the Spirit. Man has only the right to determine the kind of life he wishes to live, but not the right to decide over life and death itself. The laws say that there is no event or any situation which would justify suicide. You would be wise to take note, however, that in some apparent events of suicide, there is not the personal act of self that causes the dimensional change, but rather the ultimate spiritual purpose that comes into operation. You ones of earth's physical aspect are not given the right of judgment. Now, this is one of the laws you need to look into. Suicide carried out by a third hand, which means through a hired murderer, or murder for reasons of mercy, is against the laws of the creation. However much guilt a man may acquire, and however large the burden may be, he has no right to determine his own death. Even though Judah Iharioth incurs great debt, he has no right to decide over his life and death. Further, no matter how much good or a perceived death by suicide might appear to bear, think of the possible good that a devoted life in truth and wisdom could bear. Each debt and each mistake are a way to understand from which the spirit is perfected. If man is escaping from guilt or mistake, or whatever might be the predicament, by killing himself, he escapes from perception and has to learn the perception in another life experience at some appropriate level of understanding, aka reincarnation. You have to do it all over again. Therefore, he only delays the process of perfection of the spirit, which is not the will of the creation. Either way, suicide is an act of deplorable cowardness, and a disregard of the laws of the creation. And you look in there, it's in there, of the 18 laws. After Emmanuel had finished this lesson, the disciples were very agitated and said, "Why do we not just catch Judah Iharioth and stone him, lest he can betray you?" And we're stopping there for part 3.